I made this for you, Mom.
Wow.
It's milk with the cookies already in it.
Wow.
Frank looks at the chart and says, it's net, not gross.
Wow.
Well?
Wow.
The world's most perfectly cut diamond. Thrills like no other. Hearts on fire.
And welcome to Appeal TV. In the big picture, crime doesn't color within the lines. Criminals honor no laws and observe no borders. No place is out of reach. In the suburbs hugging Memphis, burglaries of homes, businesses, and cars may be more common than armed robbery or aggravated assault, but that doesn't make solving this crime easy. Over the last 4 weeks, reporter Don Wade rode along with law enforcement officers to learn the moves and counter moves they make to keep streets in the suburbs safe.
She advised they were involved in a physical disturbance about 15 to 20 ago, and we will have charges.
The communities around any urban center, in this case Memphis, do not exist in isolation. Memphis's crime stats are well known. In the 2005 FBI crime analysis, we were the second most violent city in the country. There are criminals who operate in Memphis, who live in Memphis, that ply their trade in the suburbs. Now, it's not exclusively a one-way street. You have people that live outside the city that then go in the city to commit crimes as well. But it's all connected, and yet each of them has very specific things that are their own unique challenge as well. Germantown has long had the reputation for being really hawkish on traffic enforcement, and it still applies. And Bartlett takes much the same approach, especially on the Stage Road corridor.
I live in Bartlett. I worship in Bartlett. I work in Bartlett. And everybody I talk to, and my neighbors at church, they tell me, they say, I moved to Bartlett for one reason. It's for the public safety and the fire department and the parks. And it's a clean city, And they tell me, they said, that's what we want. We want you guys to be tough. We want you guys, if there's bad guys here, we want y'all being tough on them and getting out and making sure everybody obeys the laws. So I think, if you give people what they pay for, then they don't mind paying it.
If you come to Collierville, I would suggest you don't speed, because if you speed, you're going to get caught. We have a very good traffic enforcement program going on, and they will catch you speeding. If you drink and drive, I suggest you go somewhere else. If you feel that you have to drink and drive, don't come to Collierville, because you will get caught. And those Colliervillians, just use your head, common sense approach to your safety and keeping your possessions and keeping your children and your household safe. Just use your head, common sense.
Tipton County has kind of a unique challenge in that they've got a gigantic area to cover, really, 459 square miles, I believe it is, and they're undermanned. And on the night that I was out with them, that situation was made worse because they had a couple of officers sick, somebody out with a back injury. I mean, the guy I was with, the lieutenant, literally had to call somebody on a day off to transport someone to Bolivar.
09, they are advising now that it will be a white male.
You take here in Tipton County, for example, just one figure I'll throw out. From September 1st to December 31st, we assigned 660 cases to 3 investigators. And that's an overwhelming caseload for 3 investigators. I've got to have more help.
It's a tremendous area to try and cover, and they're very sensitive to being there to back each other up, too, because if you'll remember, it was a highway trooper in Tipton County who was recently shot by the 2 teenagers from Texas.
The sheriff's office has actually set up a little memorial here on the side of the highway for Trooper Jinks to let him know and his family know that our prayers are with him. He will not be forgotten.
They have some real challenges there, and they lose people. Tipton County's lost 18 officers in the last 8 years to other departments where, frankly, they thought the pasture was a little bit greener. So Sheriff Chumley is working hard trying to get the commission, and I think with some success, to see that they need a little bit more to do the best job they possibly can. Millington's kind of interesting in that you find both very young officers and then true veterans that are there, and that is kind of the way it is in a small department. Highway 51 is a big focal point for them because of the traffic. Sometimes they can't even break into the traffic, even with sirens and lights going, because people are, driving 75 and they're all tied together. So, you don't want to create a situation that's worse, trying to catch a speeder and maybe cause an accident. And that's something that, everywhere I went, it seems like the officers are more and more sensitive to the idea of, is a particular pursuit worth it? We kind of operate under certain assumptions that, this is a bad part of town, be a little more careful here, you might be okay over here. But, anything can happen anywhere, and that's why all these jurisdictions take their jobs very seriously, and, the officers say, our job is to keep our city safe, and there's an ownership to that I think should make people feel pretty good.
Sport and energetic style come together in the 2007 Cadillac CTS. Unleash your inner drive at only $329 a month, and you can see it today as our showroom renovation continues at Bud Davis Cadillac, 5433 Poplar, or on the web at buddaviscadillac.com.